Okay, so on the bottom, I've run in all my screws to hold the fixed sash into the frame, which this is the last one. You don't want to go too fast. Now you got 4 holes that go through the frame, through the sash, through the frame, that are your installation holes. These 182 millimeter screws, which you got 6 of them, you need 4. You're going to run them all the way through into the ground and bury them into the concrete. Alright, so that's going to hide your screw holes here. The most important thing is, back up a little bit so you can see the level. These doors, for them to operate properly, the sill, the bottom, has to be absolutely level. Okay, and also the side that the door leans up against has to be absolutely level. Problem is, if it's not, the door will ride level and you're going to see a gap, and we're going to show that to you once we put the operating sash in there. So you want to make sure you got everything level across the bottom. You want to make sure that you get a perfect right angle and a level side on where the door is going to wind up in meeting. Then you're going to screw up the entire door. So in the bottom, we showed you the holes that go here, that we have a cover cap that snaps into. The screws go through here. That's the bottom. On the sides, you got all the screws here. Then you have a cover cap that snaps onto here that we can pull off. On the top, you're going to put all the screws across the top. You're not going to put the track in yet because this track is going to go in once we actually put the sash in. And then over here is where the handle goes. Once you have all your installation holes in here, basically you just stand the bottom up against it, and this also snaps in just like that. And then you have all your locking points here. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to see all these double holes here. You're going to put one on the top, and there's going to be 5 of these locking points. And you're going to run them in. And you don't have to go over tight. Just want to make them snug. Here's one of them. And another one. So when it's all said and done, you're going to have 5 locking points that the door is going to drop onto, and by running these screws in, it's going to cover up also your installation hole screws. The idea being is that when you're all done installing the doors, you don't see any of the installation screws. So that's 2 of them, and then there's going to be 3 more, which I'm not going to keep the camera running for that. Now we got this top piece here. This top piece over here has to be taken out for the door to come in, and once again you're going to run silicone caulking all the way in that groove, and you're going to run it along this miter here, so when it meets up with this miter, it's all nice and sealed. Once again, we're not going to do it now because we're going to take the door back apart, and that's the same groove. If you can get a nice shot of that, how you can see how the high leg of that sits in this, so you would have ran a bead of caulking in that groove as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that in here like this. If I had some caulking on it, I'm going to bend it a little bit to get that gasket in there just like this. You see how that sits in there like this? Now I'm going to line up my miter over here, and once again this all snaps in. If I can find my mallet hammer, I'm going to go ahead and tap it. So now that's all in there. We got a nice gasket up here. We got this gasket that's already glued on here and here. And then I would come back and I would go ahead and put the rest of these locking points in, which I said there's 5 of them. I just don't want to waste more time on the camera to show you how to put all these in. Here's another one. Okay. And then we're going to put 2 more in there. So now we have all of our screws installed, at which point you could actually take this cover cap, which has a little protective film on the back, and once you have all your screws in here, it goes a little bit underneath here. I'm sorry, it goes this way around. You'll see the little corrugations. The bevel goes to the front. You stick it in, and then you snap it down. I'm not going to do it now because once you do it, it's really hard to get up without boogering it up. But you'll see how it goes in like this, and then all you really do is you push down the front, then you can peel that off, and it matches the walkover track. That should seal and hide all the installation screw holes for you. Once again, I can't stress, the bottom and this have to be perfectly square for the door to work 100% properly. So now you have the frame installed. you have the fixed sash installed. I would go ahead now and I would glaze this if it's all square, because once we hang the operating sash, it's really hard to get these glazing beads in. So the last video is going to be how to put the top track and the operating sash in, and that's all one step. So.